top up with great skill from him to wing the Mo Salah! Raheem Sterling! What a finish! What pure class from the Englishman!
Premier Talk, the English Premier League podcast for the fans.
Right. Hello and welcome back to the Premier Talk podcast, season 4, episode 5. I'm one of your two hosts, as always, Andrew Mello, and alongside with me is the legend, Danny Barbuto. Danny, we got another good one in store today, another episode.
Yes, sir.
A lot has happened over the last couple of days, over the weekend as well. Some really good fixtures happening in the Prem. But nonetheless, Daniel, let's get right into the starting lineup.
Starting lineup kicking us off today. As always, we got the storylines of the week.
And then, Daniel, we're going to get into Europe. We're going to get into the European draw, everything from UCL to UEL. We're going to look over the groups and also how the teams were seeded today after there was the draw for the round of 32, respectively, and also the round of 16 for the Champions League.
Let's kick us off. Storylines of the week. First storyline, we got Manchester City versus Fulham. This one ended 2-1. It was a battle for City. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't think people expected Fulham to come out in this one and give City a run for their money. But Alvarez scoring in the 17th minute, a really tidy finish, bar down. He hammered this one past the keeper. It was a lovely finish. And from there on in, City fans thought this was it. We're going to go on and smash Fulham, maybe 5-0, based on how it was looking at that point. But everything changed when Cancelo took out Harry Wilson in the box, was sent off for the challenge. Fulham was awarded a penalty, and Andreas Pereira, the ex-Manchester United man, converted from the spot, tied the game in the 28th minute, and the rest of the game was pretty stagnant there on out. Of course, you know who wasn't starting in this one? Take a guess.
Erling Haaland.
Haaland, my goat, just didn't feel like it, But he did come off the bench. He was sidelined with an injury. Came off the bench, made an immediate impact in the 74th minute when he scored, but it was later ruled out for offside. So he did what he does best. He had to score again. Of course, why not score once, score twice? In the 93rd minute, De Bruyne was fouled. It was a little soft, in my opinion. It was kind of like, De
Bruyne had some dance lessons or diving lessons.
Yeah, what are you gonna do, right? So he was fouled. Gave Haaland the penalty. He converted from the penalty spot. Probably should have been saved by the keeper. It wasn't the greatest of penalties.
Mm-hmm.
But City come out with 3 points. What else can I say? Like that's what it comes down to, right? They find ways to win.
Daniel, this was a huge 3 points for City. People underestimate Fulham and their quality this year. They have a lot of quality. I said this before. They're one of those teams that on any given week can give you frustrations. They're very well organized under Mark Silva. Like we said, they got loads of talent and they're going to give you problems. I thought Andres Pereira played a very good game, played a solid match. But City, and it's hard to keep them out. They were knocking on the door a couple of times there late in the game, and for Haaland, it's a great goal and an important goal. Another one to your tally, but obviously gets you three important points in a weekend where Arsenal was able to win against Chelsea. So. Massive 3 points. Unfortunately, Cancelo's out now for the next fixture, but for City again, 3 massive points. People don't realize how good this Fulham team is this year. They're a team that gives a lot of trouble. So I thought it was a fantastic result.
I agree. Although, they didn't get any points out of it, but it just shows that they can compete with top sides.
Yeah.
The one thing I did want to touch upon that you just pointed out was Arsenal. Look, Arsenal don't look like Arsenal this year, and it's freaking scary because they actually look like a top-tier side that, I don't get it, man. I don't want Arsenal to be a top-tier side. Come on, these Arsenal fans I have to put up with every day.
It is, Daniel, it is what it is, They gotta win this weekend. It was only 1-0, but it wasn't even a nice goal either. It was a very scrappy goal in the box from Gabriel Magalhães, but nonetheless, Arsenal get the win, and Man City was able to stay on the same track. So it's one of those weekends that if you lose points, it could really hurt you. And they were able to dig deep and get a one late on. De Bruyne embellished the challenge a little bit, but that's the way it goes sometimes. He made a good effort out of it to look like he was really fouled pretty hard, and and ended up being Allen to convert it to PK. So the penalty shot. So big points again.
Yep. Yeah, it was. And then we're gonna move on to a team that just look, they've been doing well. This Manchester United side. I think they were on like a 10-game unbeaten streak. But that came to an end at the hands of Unai Emery's new squad, Aston Villa.
Good evening.
Look, good evening. Good evening. And they came out and dominated. Like in the first 11 minutes, Aston Villa was up 2-0. Look at me. I'm lost now with Unai Emery. He's saying good evening, throwing me off track. They were up 2-0. Look, their first goal came in the 7th minute from Leon Bailey. It was a really tidy finish to beat De Gea. And the second was a Digne cracker from a free kick.
What a free kick,
the,
man. Holy.
The man is a dead ball genius
Specialist,
with that
yeah.
left foot of his. Look, it was a phenomenal free kick that just curled over the wall, dipped down, and beat De Gea. Like, what are you gonna do? And then right before halftime, Jacob Ramsey felt like giving United some hope with a terrible. Well, okay, it has nothing. It wasn't his fault really. He just went to go block a Luke Shaw volley, which was going probably like 10 feet wide, and it hit off his back and beat Emi Martinez. Like, what are you gonna do?
That was a weird one.
One of those things. But Jacob Ramsey did go on to redeem himself because like 3 minutes after halftime, he made up for it and he scored to make it 3-1. Ended United's comeback hopes. Another tidy finish from Ramsey after a cutback he smashed top shelf. But look, this United side wasn't good enough on this day. There was a whole thing about Ronaldo being named captain after he had been left out of the side for the whole shenanigans in the 90th minute a couple weeks back. Him walking through the tunnel back to the dressing room before the game had ended. And then he was named to the captain in this one. So I don't know what. Look, Ten Hag came out after the game and said Ronaldo was like his 4th choice captain, which is just like disrespectful for him to say that. But at the same time, he needed to address the media as to why Ronaldo was at captain for this one. He said, Maguire is supposed to be captain, but he was on the bench. De Gea is then second captain, but he said he didn't feel like De Gea from the back could lead the team on the pitch. I was like, that's a useless excuse. And then he said his third captain is a great leader, which would have been Casemiro. But he said Casemiro doesn't speak the best English, so he doesn't want him leading the team on the field. I was like, what is going on? And then he said, so our next and 4th pick was Ronaldo. I was like, that's just a whole load of garbage. But
Daniel, I don't care about all this Manchester United nonsense. I care about the man that went from Villarreal to Villa, the legend himself. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's none other than Unai Emery. What a masterclass! No, there's something about when a new manager steps in, the players get a little bit of fire going under them, for sure. I don't think it was all Unai Emery that helped set this team up because the lineup doesn't look too different from what it did a couple weeks ago. Jacob Ramsey did start, which was nice. I really like him. I think he's got a lot of quality going forward. And man, what a finish on that third goal! What a strike, finish. Man!
It was a tidy finish.
Lovely goal. But man, the way Villa started this game off, they look like a completely different team than they did last week. They really stepped it up. I really like the energy out there, and they look like they're playing on the same wavelength. Because other weeks it looked like their midfielders weren't clicking with their front man and Ings. So there was some weird play from Villa in the last couple of weeks before the manager got sacked, before Gerrard got sacked. So it looks like a completely different team. I know this team has lots of quality. It's just about being on the same page. Can they continue to link up well? Because I thought that the wide play with Bailey on this day was fantastic as well. He was a very key player in this one, and again another nice finish right at the get-go, and he helped propel this team forward yet again. So there's quality here, Daniel, for Villa. This is one of the best Villa sides we've seen in years in terms of their quality on paper. It's just a matter of translating it out to the pitch. Can they do it? I think they can with Emery. Hopefully it's a new era, and I would like to see a team with so much history come back and really challenge for the top 6. That'd be fantastic.
You know who this Villa, this is a little bit of a hot take, but you know who this Villa side reminds me of currently is the Newcastle side. Although they aren't doing as well as Newcastle, they're a team that has a good amount of quality. They have some young players. They have some very talented players. they're a team that I feel can look. They're not in the same form as Newcastle. Newcastle's been incredible this year, and
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
I don't think anybody expected them to be that good. Believe they're currently sitting in third. Um, look, they've been incredible, but I just feel like this Aston Villa side should aspire to be like 2022's Newcastle because they both have the same amount of talent. They both have players on the pitch that can go out there and get it done. The only difference is that Newcastle's putting up results while Aston Villa isn't. This new manager could look. Unai Emery has the managerial capabilities to transform a team, and he looks like off of we can't really say anything, but off of one game, he looked like he's doing a good job. So, can he propel this Aston Villa team to be like Newcastle?
One game.
I guess we're gonna
One game's definitely too
thing.
early, but
Yep.
you need a good sample size. And the World Cup's coming up, so he's not going to get much time. But if he continues to finish on a strong note before the World Cup comes, great for Villa because it's going to be very open once we get back from the World Cup. Who knows what's going to happen? It's going to be almost like a new season starting, so it's going to be weird. It's going to be weird, but if he's able to continue and do well and get the next couple get wins in his next couple games, then you'll be in a good place for sure.
And I like you bring up the World Cup too. Just before we move on here, Aston Villa again similarities with Newcastle. Newcastle doesn't have a single player going to the World Cup. Not a single player. I think Aston Villa. I don't think anybody's going other than Emi Martinez. Unless no Mings is going too, I believe, as like a backup.
Maybe, yeah, we're not sure.
I don't know if they released that final squad yet for England, but the only person who solidified a squad is Emi Martinez. And look, if you leave Emery the 35 days or 40 days between the World Cup and coming back to Premier League fixtures to train with this side and tune them the way that he wants them to be tuned, this team is going to be demonist when they come back in January. Like it's just going to be a scary team to play against.
Yeah, I know the last game of the week, Tottenham and Liverpool. Hit us with that rundown of that game.
Salah had a masterclass, although he didn't have too many chances. He had two big chances realistically, and he converted both of them. The first one came in the 11th minute where Darwin Núñez fed him a ball right at the top. I think he was like just inside the 18-yard box. Took one touch with his right foot, smashed it into the bottom right corner with the left foot. Lloris didn't even move. It was a quick 1-2 with his 2 feet. It was a phenomenal just goal scorer's finish. And then in the 40th minute, Eric Dyer, I don't know what he was doing here. Salah, there was a bouncing ball that Dyer tried to head back to Lloris, and Salah knew before the ball even got to Dyer that he was going to try to head it back to Lloris, and that the pass back was just terrible. Salah gets there, digs Lloris 2-0. And after this 2-0, something snapped in Tottenham because they were pressing like I've never seen Tottenham press before in my entire life. They were running forward with the ball. They were doing everything they could to get a goal. They hit the bar twice. They were all over this Liverpool side. And I haven't seen this Liverpool side defend for their lives like I did in this game. And especially after Kane got on the scoreboard in the 70th minute. Again, just a really tidy finish, a goal scorer's finish coming onto his strong foot on his right foot. Pass came in on the right side of the box, and he just calm, cool, and collectively smashed it into the left side right mesh. No chance did Allison have to save that ball. And after this goal in the 70th minute, Tottenham was forced to sit back and just absorb pressure. And look, they got lucky to get out of this game with the 3 points because this easily could have gone Tottenham's way.
Daniel, I really liked Konate. I thought he was a good squad move in the squad this week. I thought that he was very solid. He had 7 clearances, and really, I think he's the best complement to Van Dijk. I think Joe Gomez has lost over the last couple of years. Same thing with Matip. I think Konate is the guy to play beside VVD week in, week out. And I thought he was an important reason why Liverpool were able to hang on. Very strong defensively in the second half. And, it's great to see Salah doing well again and getting back on the score sheet. Darwin with the assist. Legend Darwin. Let's go.
Darwin, Benfica's man.
But Daniel, it was a great game. I love the matchup. It's two teams that have been underperforming of late. Tottenham haven't been doing too well in the last 4 weeks or so. Same thing with Liverpool this season. They've been in shambles, up and down. constantly proving that they're not the team this year to beat. But Daniel, they went away. Was it away or home? I think
It was
uh,
in Tottenham.
yeah, it was away. They went away and they got three very, very important points. They made it hard for themselves towards the end, sure, but nonetheless, three important points and the legend, Darwin.
Come
Remember the
on,
name.
stop
Remember
it.
the
Stop. I don't want to hear this, Darwin. Anyways, those are the three biggest storylines of the week. Of course, there was Newcastle continuing to win. There was the Brighton game, which was wild. There was the Wolves game that was wild, or it was Brighton versus Wolves, the wild game. There was a Bournemouth game that was disgusting too. There was just so many storylines this week. Just a great week for football overall, especially out of England.
Daniel, let's go into the next segment here. We're going to talk about the UCL draw and the UEL draw. It was announced today the groups, or not the groups, but rather the matchups for the round of 16, the last 16 in the Champions League. It was a great draw. I think there's a lot of interesting fixtures here. Let's just run through them very quickly. We'll go through all of them, including non-Premier League teams. What a matchup between PSG and Bayern Munich. Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Daniel, this is a great one. I'm leaning more towards Bayern, even though they lost Loa, because Bayern is just solid and they always get it done. PSG haven't in the UCL. And this is after PSG came second to Benfica in their group on away goals. They tied on points with 14. So this could have been Benfica in this situation, but instead PSG is playing against a giant. It's the battle of the giants in the round 16. And I really like this matchup. I got Bayern in this one.
I'm going to disagree with you. I got PSG in this one. I wasn't as much of a fan as this matchup as you were, just simply because I don't like when these giants get eliminated in the round of 16. I like to see these giants go far, and if there's going to be Cinderella stories, for instance, a Benfica or a Club Brugge, one of those teams are going to go through the round of 8. If there is Cinderella stories like there has been over the years with like the likes of Ajax, I want to see them beating big teams to get where they are. I don't want to see Club Brugge beating Benfica. For me, that as much of a Cinderella story that's going to be, it's not what I want to see. I know there's very mixed opinions on that.
Daniel, if a team wins the UCL, they're gonna have to beat a good team eventually. So
that's true. But
if PSG came second in a group to Benfica, it's their fault. They should have at least got points away or home, whatever, in the two fixtures they were able to play them. But you know what? They choked and they drew both games. So I don't feel bad that PSG caught these guys, and I hate those clubs that spend hundreds and millions of dollars with no history, and PSG is one of them. And they caught Bayern Munich, so I hope they get slapped.
I'm a Messi fan. I want PSG to win this one. It's gonna be an unreal fixture. The home anyway fixture. It's gonna be unreal. But look, the reason why I disagree with you with that is like looking. I know we're gonna touch on based on this just later on. Barcelona versus Manchester United are probably the two of the best teams that could go on to win it, and now they just got matched against each other.
It happens.
Look, it happens. I know. But I want to see big teams go far, and if I want to see a Cinderella story, I want them to go through the best of the best. I want them to have the hardest matchup in the world, like Ajax did, just flying through teams that everyone expected them to lose against. Anyways, sorry.
Next matchup is Porto and Inter Milan. Who do you got in this one?
I got Inter here. Look, although Porto, good on them to qualify. Inter has been really good. Top of the group, and Inter's been really good, and I think Inter, it's not going to be a cakewalk like everyone thinks it's going to be, but Inter should be able to beat Porto in this one.
Yeah, I got Inter as well. I think it's a pretty decent matchup. Porto is very difficult to play against. They're like Atletico Madrid sort of, where they're very agitating and they frustrate you. They got some good quality players out wide, so they could cause some problems, but I think Inter is going to win this one. Daniel, next one is the Blues. Chelsea against Dortmund. I really like this matchup. I think this is going to be a great game, a great pair of games. I think, though, I will give Chelsea the edge. I think I'll give Chelsea the edge, even though they've been here and there. Graham Potter's come in. They've had some good results, but they lost on the weekend against Arsenal. But I think the overall Chelsea's got the better team, and hopefully, following the World Cup, their players that are injured now could get healthy. The likes of N'Golo Kante, Reece James, these sort of guys, can they get healthy in time for this February fixture?
Ooh, this is a phenomenal matchup. One that I'm definitely really interested for. I'm gonna take Dortmund just for one man, just in general. Jude Bellingham gonna be playing against an English side, being English himself, being scouted by all these English teams. I think he's gonna come out with an absolute masterclass, perform to the best of his abilities. I think he's gonna be a decider in this one, a one-player decider for the Dortmund squad. And I think Dortmund, look, realistically, if Dortmund do edge Chelsea, it's gonna be some late drama, or it's gonna be 5-4. It's gonna be something where in the second game everything's gonna matter, right? I don't think there's gonna be no blowouts in this one, and it's gonna be a phenomenal matchup to look out for.
Daniel, the next one, Napoli, who's been hot this year against Frankfurt. I have the former UEL champions, last year's UEL champions, losing in this one. I think Napoli's going to win. Napoli's been too good. Anything can happen after the break, but I think Napoli can continue their success into after the World Cup break. And I think they're going to win this one.
I agree with you. The Kvaratskhelia, I can't say his name. The Georgian,
Kvaratskhelia,
the Georgian winger, he's amazing. I know we talked about him last week. I think he's disgusting. So he's going to push past Frankfurt in this one. Look, this Frankfurt side is not a side you take lightly. Although Napoli's run of form has been phenomenal this year.
Frankfurt has been too good. They're like mid-table right now. So
yeah, but look, Frankfurt wasn't amazing last year either, and they won Europa League.
Yeah, fair enough. So, Daniel, next one, Tottenham and AC Milan.
This is a tough one.
I have my boy Rafael Leao going off in this one. I think Milan's gonna give Tottenham the work. Milan's similar to Chelsea. They're missing some key guys of late. I think that Milan has the side to go out there and beat Tottenham. I think Tottenham just too inconsistent. They're not gonna do it. So I got the team from Italy winning.
I'm gonna take Tottenham here. Just because Conte has changed this side, and I love the way that they're playing currently, although they lost Liverpool this week. I feel like they're playing phenomenally. Again, a really good matchup. Like Dortmund Chelsea, it's going to come down to the wire. Everything's going to matter until the last kick of the game. And it's going to be a great one to watch, but I got Tottenham.
Daniel, another huge matchup.
Yep.
Real Madrid and Liverpool, they know each other all too well the last couple of years in the UCL. Met in several finals. Who do you got winning this one?
This is another one where it's so close. I'm gonna do Liverpool, getting revenge. That's why I got in this one. I think it's gonna be so close, like the other two, like the Dortmund and Chelsea, Spurs. There's gonna be so many close matchups again. Just because Madrid edged past them in the finals last year, I got Liverpool beating them, getting their revenge.
Then I'm gonna have to go the opposite with you. I think that Liverpool's poor form is gonna carry into after the break. I don't think they're gonna be able to turn around this year. I think it's just not their year. I got Real Madrid cruising through Liverpool in this one. I don't think it's gonna be close. Something tells me it's gonna be a blowout. Daniel. Wow. The matchup you already mentioned with Benfica and Bruges.
You know you're gonna hate me for this one.
No, I say Benfica, and I say Benfica because they've been on a fantastic run of form. I think they're the only team to be in one of the top leagues to not lose a game yet this year, if I'm not mistaken.
Same with Bruges. Bruges
hasn't lost, and they lost in the UCL. Bruges lost in the UCL against Porto 4-0. Benfica has yet to lose in all competitions.
In all comps, yeah.
So I don't know. I think that Benfica could carry it through. I hope they can. It'd be good for Portugal, especially to make points as well, and to have a team go into the quarterfinals. I think it's possible. And the way they've been playing domestically, winning this weekend again, the massive scoreline was 5-1. They've been able to score goals, lots of goals, and the way they press has been phenomenal. So I don't know. I think they could beat Bruges.
I got Bruges going Cinderella story here. And I told you weren't going to like it, but they're the team that I feel is going to go deep this year. I don't know why. They're giving me those Ajax vibes.
I think it all ended when Porto went to their house and gave them 4 goals. Or was it in the Porto thing? I can't remember, but Porto gave them 4 goals in the last match day. So I don't know. I don't think they're going to carry over too well into after the break. Daniel, last matchup The favorite, I'd say, the favorite
Yeah.
this year, which is Manchester City. They're playing Leipzig. I think Leipzig will create some problems,
Yeah.
but with that being said, I think the power of Manchester City is too much. No matter
Mhm.
what team you are, you don't want to get drawn against Man City. They're too good of a side, and I think that Leipzig's not going to stand a chance against the mighty giants of England.
As good as Nkunku is, and he's been phenomenal for the last like 2 seasons. Look, he's up for a big one here against the City side. The City side realistically should, just with their straight talent, should walk over Leipzig. But Leipzig is not a team that you want to go into a game with that mentality.
Yeah.
Like they're a team that they're scary, like top to bottom. Realistically, like they're a team that could upset City, but I don't think they're going to here.
Excuse me, Daniel.
Who have you got? Now we're moving on to Europa League.
Daniel, I'm just gonna go through very quickly who drew who, and then we could say who our favorite is. So, like you mentioned, Barcelona against Manchester United, the best fixture so far.
Yeah, it's not even close.
Then Sevilla's taking on PSV, another good solid fixture. Sporting against Michelin, Shakhtar against Rennes, Ajax against Union Berlin. That's an underrated
That's
one
a
there.
sick matchup.
That's very underrated. Leverkusen and Monaco, pretty solid as well. Salzburg and Roma. I really like this one. I think Salzburg's going to create some difficulties for Jose Mourinho and the Rome-based club. And then Juventus taking on Nantes out of France. So, Daniel, out of all these teams here that are left, who you got?
I got Barcelona or United, not to be biased at all, because I love both squads, both sides. Looking at this list, okay, we're obviously not looking at the 8 teams that top their group in Europa League.
Mhm.
Is it 8 or 16 teams? 16 teams or 8? No, 8 teams that top their group. It was 8 groups. I think Barca United walk all these teams. The winner of that fixture should go incredibly deep in Europa League. Just because their sides are realistically good enough to be in the knockout round of Champions League, especially Barcelona falling from Champions League into Europa League.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I think that either whoever wins that matchup should go very deep. Like I'm saying, semis, finals deep into Europa League.
Daniel, I think they're obvious picks to have success, but I want to go for another team that might go really far this year, and I'm gonna have to say it's gonna be Leverkusen. I know they dropped out, but I know they dropped out, but they got a really good side. They have fantastic players like Odoi, Diaby, Patrick Schick. There's some quality there. They got Ta in the back. They have some good players. And I think that they didn't have the best of UCL campaigns, but they got a great team. And sometimes there's these, not I wouldn't say Leverkusen's a small club, but compared to Barcelona United, obviously people are going to favor those two teams. But I think that Leverkusen could go far, or a team like them, or a team like Ajax. They have some fantastic players, and I don't see why they can't go far and win the tournament.
I want Union Berlin. I know they're facing Ajax in this round, but I want Union Berlin to go deep. They've been incredible in the Bundesliga this year.
They were in
upsetting
first.
even Bayern Munich.
They were in first, but they dropped off a little bit now. They're in third or fourth, I believe. They dropped off. But
Look,
nonetheless, still.
This is the version of the UEL Cinderella story. A team like this who hasn't done well in Germany at all, and then this year all of a sudden they've picked up form, they've gotten hot, and now they're sitting in a European competition. I would love to see them go deep just for that.
Yeah, Daniel, we also have other teams going through, like Sociedad that have a bye, Arsenal that have a bye, these sorts of teams. There's a team from Belgium, St. Gilles. Like these are teams that have already progressed through. Arsenal's another good nod for sure.
Yep.
I see a team like my top 3 teams. I would say if I had to pick a team to win, I think Arsenal would go further than United. And I think that Leverkusen will go further than United and Ajax. Those are my 3 teams that I'd pick that I think could win this year. I don't know.
I think Barca could breeze past Ajax and Leverkusen, but Arsenal right now would give them a run for the money.
Yeah, I think Arsenal's the favorite. That's my pick as an absolute favorite. But I would like to see a team like Leverkusen go far and possibly challenge for the title because they have some quality players there. Frimpong's another guy I forgot to mention as well. So there's some quality there, some quality for
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
I know. I think that about wraps up for this episode 5, season 4. I'm looking forward, obviously, to February. So these
We have to
matchups
wait till
can.
February.
I know it's terrible. I loved, waking up Tuesday. Let's go games in the afternoon.
Yep.
But
Games
unfortunately,
going.
that's not the case. We have
Mhm.
World Cup to hold us over, I guess.
That's it. Yep.
We have the World Cup to
Cup's
hold
in
us over.
15 days, 14
But
days.
nonetheless, we still have to wait quite a bit for the champions to return, and also Europa League, and Conference League as well. Shout out West Ham.
Shout out Conference League with those teams wearing white jerseys, or white t-shirts, but it's not. I'm not gonna talk about. That about wraps it up.
Yeah.
Make sure tune in. We're always wherever you want us to be. YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Check us out on all of our platforms. Follow us on Instagram if you aren't already. For those of you listening, we appreciate you as always. Thank you so much.
Guys, thanks for listening, and we'll see you all next week. Take care, everyone.
See you later.